Mhm. Hello, everybody. This is my video on mindset training. Today is Monday. What that means, it's Mindset Monday. So, I have done the liberty of figuring this out for you guys, everybody that's watching. I created a free training that I normally charge $500 for. And yes, you watching this video, welcome, welcome, welcome. The YouTube gods, the YouTube algorithm gods have blessed you with watching me and what I'm going to share with you for free. So, with that being said, what I'm going to go over is something that I created or I found and I reverse engineered with the help of my brilliance and AI and all these other things to help better your line of thinking, to better your habits, to better your results in life, to improve how you do things. Let me make that really clear and give you guys an example. By the way, everybody watching to the end of the video is going to understand how we get things in life and how we end up not getting things in life. All this frequency and new age kind of information, I'm going to break it and boil it down into simple sense that a fifth grader can get it. So with that being said, your results in life are based explicitly on your habits and mindsets. Habits then mindsets, right? So what's up here is like if you want to be a $1 million earner, if you want to get the girl, there are a line of physical, actual habits you have to do, right? You have to be going out doing 100 approaches, getting denied maybe 40, 60 of the time, and then going and then getting actual change with 40, 30, or 60% of the women, whatever. But at the end of the day, the guy who gets the 30 women is successful, right? Same thing with business. If you want to create a business and it took you 5 times to fail a business, you only need one. You need that one business to take everything home. You just got to win one time. So, at the top, it's habits. Below that is uh, beliefs, and below that is mindsets. So, your current mindset, um, actually, no, I think I said that wrong. So at the top, it's habits. Below that is beliefs, then mindset. No, yeah, I was right. The mindsets, the beliefs, because your beliefs that you have can pause. Uh, how do I pause this? Oh, there we go. So it's habits, mindsets, and beliefs. And what the script does, it's an NLP script. For anybody that doesn't know what NLP is yet, it's neuro linguistic programming. And what that does is it gives us a chance, a fair chance at looking into your brain as if it's software code and rearranging the things that were there and putting things that we want to have there in its place. So the beliefs you have that are running in the background causes your mindsets that you have on certain things in life. And those mindsets help to dictate the habits you have that's based off your belief system. So bring it all together is your brain is like a computer and your body is like the hardware of the computer, and the way your mindsets and beliefs are the software. So there's things that have happened that you have given reasonings to it, whether it's accurate or not, depends on your results or what you find to be accurate. But in reality, if you think that having abs or working out is going to get you the girl and you're more confident from it, it's kind of true. But if everything's perspective, because guys who are fat still get women, or guys who do this still da da da. So everything is just based on your beliefs. But if you have the belief that gives you the right mindset to make it easier to get the goal, that is the gift here. So I created all this and I've ran it through and I've charged, I've given it for free, I've helped myself, I've done this with a lot of other people. About 15 to 20 times so far. I think I've created over 20 scripts. And there's a successful amount of compounded growth and development in each person. So I'm creating this video so everybody here can understand what it's like to go through that free of charge. You get to see exactly what it's like and see how it works for yourself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the video, share my screen, and you guys are going to get to see and take a look at what it is. So something to give you guys some more information on. I've created so people want to know like, all right, if this works, have you done it yourself? How many times have you done it yourself? And I've done this on myself like 4 times. And for your understanding, this isn't a magic pill. This is just something created to reduce the resistance around creating new habits for yourself. So if you want to start going to the gym every day, but you have subconscious beliefs that like you're not good enough, or that no matter how much you work out, you're not going to lose weight, or that even if you work out, you don't feel like you would get stronger. Whatever beliefs are that actually aren't true is going to help remove and reduce the noise of those beliefs so that taking new actions are going to seem and feel easier for you. Because what's the difference between somebody who's always doing new active things versus somebody who's like stuck in a box? It's just the resistance they have around a new trait or a new habit. So this helps to get in your mind and open up what's called, it gives you more neuroplasticity within the next, I think, 48 to 72 hours is how long I've seen it last for people, where doing new things along the conversation of the script or just in general, it kind of like re-exposes you and it gets to the way I look at it is like imagine you're like a tree and every year of growth is a year of being here on Earth, but over a part of your life or a section of your life, the roots of the tree started getting entangled instead of growing deeper and further and stretching out. So what this gets us to do is to pull things up so you have more room to breathe when it comes to thinking in your mind. Um, so the scripts I've created for myself, anybody that wants a script for me to just give you and show you how it works. A lot of people in general have a fear approach to life. So the first script I created for myself that I saw massive growth with is fear. Just fear in general. A lot of our hesitations in life is around like what if something bad happens, but we don't think about what if something good happens. So that was the first script I created for myself that helped out tremendously when I made the first big move from New York to a smaller state, smaller city. The next script I read just before this recording was a script on content creation. That one is more personalized, so I can't really give that out. But if somebody wants a script personally, just DM me or message me on here, and I'll figure out a way to send you the link for that. And the script now that we're on is playing it safe versus playing not. So there's three different like levels of, I guess, mindsets when it comes to taking action or risk control that we unintentionally choose for ourselves. And I found that there's only three brackets. It's playing to lose, playing to not to it's playing to lose, it's playing not to lose, and it's playing to win. Obviously, the perfect mindset to have as a student is playing to win because you're risking something to get something larger. Playing to not lose is the sneakiest one to pick up at all because there's growth here and you'll notice change in your life, but it happens at a slower pace than you want or you care to admit. And it feels like you're going somewhere, but also can feel like you're spinning your wheels, which is what I'm currently guilty of until the next 48 hours. I'm gonna read the script with you guys. You're gonna guys get to see the process. And yeah, after that, the problem still is there. It still persists, right? But after the next 48 hours, doing this new habit becomes a lot easier. It gives me examples, it gives me clarity, and it gives me literal things of what to do. So when a person does this with me, I give you homework and all that stuff to go over it. And then the last one is playing to lose. This is the most obvious to people around you, not yourself, because it's the loser mentality of saying, "Oh, I'm gonna do this profile, but it's not gonna work. I'm getting this program, it's not gonna work." You're going to a battle already like halfway defeated. You're fully defeated mentally, you're halfway defeated already. So this script, every script, I look at it as like the next, it can only take you the next two steps forward because it's hard for someone to go from loser mindset to winner mindset. No, you got to go from loser mindset to less loser to neutral to, oh, I can win. Okay, I'm winning to winner mindset. So that's why these things are very like personalized. But so as you guys read the script, as you guys get access to the script, You're going to realize that it's going to work for some of you guys right out the gate because it's exactly where you are, what you need. Some of you guys are going to take some time. Some of you guys are going to notice incremental change. Some guys are going to notice a lot of change. So the best advice I could say is have something customized for you that makes sense. But with that being said, no further ado, I'll drop the links to start the just so you guys can see when the script started in the video. And let's begin. And there's a lot of woo-woo stuff in here too. So if you're not into that, just still read it. It's still gonna work for you. Oh, I gotta share my screen. Okay, the identity installation protocol, a guided visualization for complete identity repatterning. Three neurological facts that aren't up for debate. Before I start, actually, there's one thing I like to do, which is I like to have this little music thing playing. Um yeah, it tends to set the mood, if you know what I mean. It's not downloading. So let me play this music. Da, da, da. Uh, I'll just add it in the editing feature in the back end. All right, so no further ado. Three neurological facts that aren't up for debate. Fact number one, your brain doesn't wait for reality to catch up. It acts on prediction. Every approach you make or don't make, every risk you take or avoid, every boundary you set or swallow down, all of it is filtered through what your nervous system expects will happen next, not what actually happens. Fact number two, playing to win versus playing not to lose aren't strategies, they're operating systems. And your brain is running one of them right now. Very second, whether you are aware of it or not. One system scans for threats and contracts, the other scans for opportunities and expands. Different neural pathways, different hormonal cascades, different outcomes. Fact three, shame isn't an emotion you feel, it's a prediction system that's been installed. Every time you hesitate before approaching someone attractive, every time you dim yourself down to avoid judgment, every time you wait for certainty that will never come, that's not you. That's an outdated threat detection algorithm running patterns that kept a child safe, but are now keeping an adult small. If you take those three facts, prediction behavior, prediction-based behavior, operating system selection, and shame as installed software, they explain why most people never actually become who they're capable of being. It's not because they lack potential, it's because the nervous system locked in an identity around age 25 and said, we've seen enough. This is who you are now. This is how we stay safe. From that moment forward, the system acts like a bouncer at a club you never agreed to be in. It only lets in the thoughts, behaviors, and opportunities that match the established version of you. Everything else, the bold approach, the standout offer, the uncomfortable truth, the moment of self-approval gets filtered out before it even reaches conscious awareness. But here's what researchers discovered when they studied the neuroscience of identity change. The brain uses identical neural networks to imagine yourself as it does to remember your past. The same circuits that light up when you remember your most confident moment are the ones that activate when you imagine becoming someone who plays to win in every domain. The same circuits that light up when you remember your most confident moment are the ones that activate when you imagine becoming someone who plays to win in every domain. Neurologically speaking, your future isn't something you're moving toward. It's a memory you haven't lived yet, and that changes everything. Because if the brain treats future identity as memory, then visualization isn't wishful thinking, it's memory installation. When you vividly imagine yourself as someone who approaches with curiosity instead of fear, who creates visibility instead of hiding, who sees rejection as data instead of devastation, your nervous system doesn't file that under fantasy, it files it under experience. And the moment something becomes experience, behavior shifts automatically. Every version of you already exists as a potential neural pattern. The one who walks up to strangers daily like it's breathing, the one who makes offers that stand out instead of blend in, the one who brings people close without fear of losing them, the one who feels excitement when taking shots instead of dread, the one who's completely free of shame and fully self-approved. These aren't aspirations, they're collapse points. They're quantum possibilities waiting for the conditions that select them. And tonight you're going to become the condition. But let's explore something together, you and me, before we go any further. If you notice, without trying, without forcing anything, the simple fact that your attention is already doing something different than it was a few minutes ago. The mind leans forward when it hears something that bypasses its usual categories. It leans back when it realizes there's more space inside a moment than it thought. And you're not doing any of this. Your system is making these small adjustments the way instruments tune to each other before a performance. And while all of that is happening on its own, you might notice small details you weren't tracking before. The weight of your jaw, the temperature of the air on your forearms, the sense that the room softened slightly around the edges, the way things do right before a dream starts forming. This is the mind preparing to think in a different shape. This is something you can actually feel and recognize. In quantum mechanics, a system changes state when conditions shift. There's no effort involved, no grinding willpower, just reorganization. And people aren't different. The concepts you're hearing, the tone of voice, the shift where your attention sits, these are conditions are inside of you. Neural states are already beginning to adjust. Nothing dramatic, nothing stressful. You don't even have to even think about it. When you hear something that doesn't fit your usual framework, the mind stops trying to finish sentences. It loosens grip. And that looseness, that tiny opening, becomes the doorway where, though thoughts stretch, time feels less linear and breathing shifts all on its own. This is the same state you enter just before a vivid memory forms, just before clarity hits, just before you make a decision that changes everything. And you can picture yourself now, not as a single person with a fixed personality, but as a field, a glowing cloud of possible versions, each one vibrating at a different frequency, some dim, some bright, some razor sharp, some barely visible. Each version has its own emotional signature, its own way of moving through the world. The one who plays not to lose, tense shoulders, scanning for threats, waiting for permission. The one who plays to win, loose, clear, outcome independent, always gathering data, always moving. The one still wrapped in shame, contracted, hiding before performing to avoid judgment. The one who's fully self-approved, expansive, magnetic, bringing people close without fear. And as you imagine that field, You naturally take the advantage point of the observer. You watch from the outside, and if you let that field stretch forward, way forward into glowing threads, thin glowing threads, you will see that each thread is a possible future. Each one corresponds to a different version of you becoming dominant. I'm not asking you to choose yet. I just want you to sense which one pulls your attention. The way certain frequencies hum at a pitch you recognize, even if you can't explain why. And if the imagery drifts or fades, that's fine. That's how the nervous system stores information it plans to use later. Now that you sense that part of you, of the field behind you, all the possible versions that haven't expressed itself yet, versions that have been waiting, compressed, ready. And you can let one of them step forward now. Not the predicted you, not the playing it safe you, not the shame wrapped you. The one who approaches like breathing, who creates visibility as naturally as existing, who sees rejection as data and excitement as fuel, who brings people close because his presence is a gift and he knows it without needing proof. You don't have to force a face on it. It could just be a silhouette, just the idea of a person, but you can feel that version's emotional nature. Calm, clear, outcome independent, curious, certainty without arrogance, ease without passivity. And as you feel that, you might notice your breath starting to line up with that version. Not because you tried, because systems tune to each other naturally. Small shifts happen on their own. Jaw loosens, chest widens, thoughts get quiet. Now imagine stepping with that version, that silhouette, that upgraded operating system into a space between timelines, an open field with a full 360-degree horizon, dotted with thin glowing lines. Each line is a different future. And in the center of the space is you, not the predicted you, the one who chooses predictions. Look at how, look at those lines. Let your awareness drift from one to the next. Feel the change, emotional temperature as you hover near them. Some feel heavy, waiting for certainty, playing not to lose, hiding to stay safe. Some feel neutral, comfortable, but flat. And one or two feels like home in a way that makes no logical sense, but feels completely undeniable. Allow the upgraded version to walk slightly ahead of you, guiding your attention toward the timeline that matches the frequency you just felt. And notice that as you get closer to that line, the entire field starts reorganizing. Threads shift, some fade, some brighten, some disappear entirely. The new state you've chosen is asserting itself. Now imagine reaching a boundary, a thin membrane stretched between the old field and this new trajectory. You can step through it, pierce it, feel the pressure change in your chest, your face, your throat. That's what it feels like when a system chooses an identity decisively. Take a minute now to walk along this new timeline. Zoom forward, look at the version of yourself the day that identity comes from this one. You wake up and you wake up and feel visibility isn't a risk, it's oxygen. You create offers that stand out because blending in isn't even an option your brain considers anymore. You approach someone new and your body reads it as research mode, curious, data gathering, zero attachment to outcome. Rejection isn't a gut punch, it's information. A mismatch for the moment, nothing more. You're in business meetings, in social situations, in dating interactions, and there's this undercurrent of I'm here to win, not to avoid losing. Not aggressive, not arrogant, just clear, locked in the zone. Shame isn't whispering in the background anymore because there's nothing left to be ashamed of. You're fully self-approved. Every action you take, you approve of, not because it's perfect, but because it's yours and you chose it. You bring people close, women, friends, collaborators, not by performing or dimming yourself, but by being so compelling and unpredictable that they can't quite figure you out and that mystery pulls them in. Mistakes don't make you contract anymore. They make you expand. Every scrape, every misstep makes you 10x greater, and you move toward them with excitement and vigor because that's where growth lives. You're not taking things personally because you're looking for validation. You're gathering data, always researching, always refining, always willing to walk away when you truly decide and not just when it's comfortable. Now, reach forward into the version of you just a few days into this timeline. Watch how he moves, how he wakes up, the choices he makes. He approaches a stranger that day, not because it's hard, but because being social is a muscle he trains daily. He knows that every day he doesn't use it, it weakens. So he uses it. He makes an offer in his business that's bold and clear and stands out because silence is death. Invisibility is the only way to get feedback. He's in a conversation with a woman, and instead of performing smoothness, he's checking for chemistry, actual chemistry. He's curious, present, and willing to disqualify if it's not a match. He feels safe making mistakes. He doesn't avoid them. He makes them deliberately, collects the data from them, adjusts, and moves forward. Let all that information flow into you now, the way warmth spreads when you stand in sunlight. This is the transfer. Now, before you return, walk backwards through this future. Watch the choices rearrange themselves as you move through them. Observe how tiny changes early on create massive shifts downstream. One small action from this timeline is presenting itself now. Nothing dramatic, nothing heroic, something mundane that still belongs only to this version. Maybe it's waking up to someone tomorrow and starting a conversation with pure curiosity. Maybe it's posting that offer you've been sitting on because you're done waiting for certainty. Maybe it's approving of yourself fully in a moment where you used to contract and play it small. Let that small choice float into awareness, whatever it is. Now step back through the membrane into the center of the field and carry that sensation with you. Look around the circle again and watch how the old timelines fade, turning to smoke, vapor, nothing. They fade because the new one is stabilizing, the field reorganizes, the system selects a new state. And in the moment, you'll come back, but don't return as the same prediction. The trajectory is already changed. The field's already reorganized. The system selected playing to win over playing not to lose. Shame has been uninstalled. Self-approval is the new default. Visibility is natural. It just comes naturally to you. Approach is curiosity. Rejection is data. Mistakes are fuel. The only thing left to notice is how the version of you starts steering in the next few hours and days without effort, without grinding, without needing to convince yourself. Whenever it feels right, allow your eyes to open and let this version come back into the room. You're not the same person you were when you were listening in the beginning. The nervous system knows it now. That's powerful. So every time I do this for myself, a client, a student, even when I create these, um, I guess I don't know if it's the wording or the NLP, but it's so strong that like everybody that's listening or reading, or every time I proofread it for a student or whatever, I can always feel it, and it kind of describes what that feeling is like. It's like a warm, fuzzy sensation, and the more you lock into it, the more stimulating of an effect it is. So what I normally do now is I sign like a thing to do, like a homework, right? So the script I read right before this was for creating content. And boom, here I am creating content, something I probably wouldn't have done for like another month. And yeah, the biggest thing I've learned from this, or just things in general, it's designed for business and it's designed for dating and socializing. So people often find that they want to say the perfect thing. There's never a perfect thing to say. The closest thing you get to perfect is being yourself. And I would say that's one of the things I would write as like the t main takeaway from this video. So the homework or the thing to do is as you're going out, just acting natural, like in for throughout the course of the week, just take notice and reflect at times you were just not thinking, just being yourself, or just took a new action without even like realizing it. And then every time you notice that happened, just make acknowledgement of it. Because once you make an acknowledgement of a new skill or a new trait or habit, that's when you calcify it into something that's like that you like, and that's when you calcify the skill, so something that you own, right? So if you're bowling and you always score 100, but then randomly, I don't know, you did some like arm reps or like wrist workouts, and all of a sudden you do like 148, and you don't take that as like a that just happened. You took it as like, oh, it's because of the arm workouts. I must be getting better. You start to create consistency around that new skill or the appreciation of what you've been doing to get better. So that's what I would say for everybody watching this video. And if this makes sense, if you like it, share, subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one.